And thank you, Amasa, for giving me the opportunity and joining this cohort. I'm based in Ghana, but I'm basically from Pakistan. I run a training and development company here. It's a consultancy company as well. And what I'm certified in is coaching from Ericsson Coaching International, Canada. So what my work is all about training and development. So that's the more scope. And I do conduct one-on-one coaching as well for executives, executives and C-level executives as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think Oves Basi joined the next. So Oves, please go ahead and introduce yourself. What do you do? Where are you from? You need to unmute yourself. Okay. Maybe we go to Angela. Yeah, okay.
Hello, my name
Hi.
is Angela. I'm a senior manager in KPMG based in Dubai, and I offer consultancy services for government entities in Dubai.
Very nice. Thank you. I've been speaking since morning, so my throat has gone dry as well. Izhar, Yasser first and then Izhar. Please introduce yourself. Izhar, probably you go first.
Thank you. Ahmad, I'm Izhar Shah. I'm an environmental expert based in the UK. So I work in the automotive industry, providing environmental expertise, how to reduce environmental impact for different products and services. And on the side, I do provide consulting services to other clients when they are looking to improve their environmental footprint performance. So this is just to know, how we can get some inspiration, guidance from you so that we can streamline the main job as well as transition into solopreneurship, the way you call it. And yeah, develop a career in that side. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Yasser, can you please unmute yourself and introduce? Wes, can you now introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear
please.
me?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is. Can you see me?
I cannot see you. No, it's only your picture.
Okay, let me try to turn my camera on. Oh, where is the option?
Look at
start video.
Yeah.
Start video. Okay, sir. First of all, I'm extremely sorry about my attire.
That's okay.
Secondly, my name is Oves Basi, and my age is 35, and for the past 15 years, I have been an accounting and a tax person, and for the last 6 months, I'm trying to doing my career transition into the field of AI ops, or you can call it DevOps. So definitely this session is not relevant to me right now, but definitely in a period of 2 years time, I would definitely, I'm thinking to become a solopreneur. So this
Great.
is the thing.
So I always say the best time to start is today, now, right? So I think today, whatever transformation is going to happen today is going to help you whenever you really want to kickstart yourself. That's great. We have Yasser Rahim. Can you unmute yourself and share who you are, where are you from? Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Yasser. I am a mechanical engineer. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. And
so your voice is very bad.
Okay. Try to change. Is it better now?
It is better. Yes, please.
Okay. So my name is Dr. Yasser Rahim. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering, working in the government in my 40s. And I've in the last couple of years, I've tried to make my own company in climate change and sustainability fields. It is called climate tech. And that's what I'm doing. And I thought this session would be interesting for growing my company or having some new ideas.
Awesome. So the first thing is whenever we go in such a kind of a setting where there are fewer people talking to each other, you will always find someone who is relevant to you. So Izhar is relevant to you because he's also in sustainability, and to some extent, I think Munira would be able to help you as well because she's in Africa, and a lot of sustainability work happens in Africa. So no, thank you very much. Who else? Oh, Ali Malik. Ali. So I met, this is a very interesting story. Ali reached out to me, and he is actually part of my next full cohort starting on 31st. But in a nicer way, I want to say there are some uh, clients, connections who want to sit on your nerves because he wants to keep me on my toes all the time by asking questions, which is great. An amazing, energetic, enthusiastic professional based in Canada, and he is part of the full program. But he just wanted to come here as well, so I said let's join in. Ali, introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Ali Malik. I'm based in Toronto, Canada. And like Hamad pointed out, I've been very excited about the LinkedIn marketing thing. I've been watching videos of Hamad and the whole team. And it's very exciting to see people becoming so successful through LinkedIn marketing. I think it's not just about the platform itself. I think Ahmad has given a lot of people a new perspective on how to approach their career and their knowledge and their skills. So thank you, Ahmad, for opening our eyes and bringing us to this new world of personal branding. I think a lot of people, when they think about LinkedIn, they just think about job search. But it's only very recently that I've discovered that a lot of people uh, they've created their personal brands and they've become so successful. My experience for over 1.5 decades is in marketing and business development. I have a bachelor's in electronic engineering from GIK Institute in Pakistan, and then an MBA from LUMS in Pakistan. So all my education is in Pakistan, from Pakistan, and I moved to Canada about 5 years ago. Currently, I'm working for a fintech company as marketing manager. Most of my experience has been related to campaign management, campaign development, campaign launches, and I work with a variety of stakeholders, like within marketing, outside marketing. Sales teams are a big stakeholder in whatever I do. So I've done a lot of sales enablement as well. So yeah, I'm all ears. I'm looking to gather as much knowledge and information as possible through these sessions. Thank you, Amar.
Thank you very much. So I always say, when I do these webinars, and this is the lesson. So whenever people come in and join in my sessions, not only these bootcamp sessions, smaller sessions, but also the full length 3 weeks programs, I always tell them to map every step of the journey, because whatever I'm sharing is my experience, how I transformed myself into what I am now. And I started the transformation at the age of 55, 5 years ago. I'll be turning 60 soon, right? Most of us, like particularly people from South Asia, at the age of 50, they start looking at retirement as the next possibility for them. For me, retirement happens only when I'm not breathing. Okay. So that's when you retire. Otherwise, you have to put all your energy and effort. Otherwise, what are you going to do? I mean, you have to keep yourself busy. So that's my ambition, to keep everybody together. And whatever I see is that a lot of people register for a program, few show up. Those who show up are the real beneficiary. And I'm always enthusiastic of having a smaller group of people rather than a bigger group of people, particularly at the boot camps. So my solopreneurship program that I have also usually have 5 to 6 participants in it, so that I work with them very closely. Every individual is different. So we cannot really copy anyone. You can't copy me. You can maybe mimic me. You can probably get inspiration from me and translate that inspiration into your own words, into your own situations. And that's the best possibilities. And I learned it, you know, from some of you would relate to that great man Philip Kotler and the marketing guru. He said, these are the principles. You take the principles, you learn the principles, and then you apply those principles based on your own environment. So this is what we are going to do. I have a very targeted presentation for you that I'm going to share, and nothing is written, so it will whatever is going to come is kind of my experience, and hopefully when I do the next webinar, it's going to be different. Every session that I do is different because I bring in new knowledge. I keep adding new knowledge, and that's one thing we all need to do as well. And you can stop me by raising your hand if you have a question. And as soon as my train of thought stops, I will respond to you, or I will allow you to ask question. As I said earlier, this session is being recorded, so you can have a copy of this recording too later on if you want to review. Ali, I mean, you are in the program, so you will have the bigger program in front of you. But today you're going to get some interesting insights to solopreneurship journey. So let's start the presentation. Now, I call it a launch pad. And the reason I call it a launch pad is that this is the starting point. And a lot of us get stuck at the starting point. We are doing things, but we don't have a system, a process. And we are trying to kind of learn through our mistakes. I spent almost 15,000 hours into this journey. And whatever I'm going to teach in my today also, but in my bigger program, that's quite a big program, is exactly what I struggled with and how I achieved my goals of creating my momentum and reaching out to more and more people. 90% organically, 90% inbound. And this is a journey of last 5 years, to be very frank. But I've put in a lot of energy and efforts into creating my own solopreneurship business, and this is something that I teach as well. So let's do a quick introduction, which we just did. Nobody has joined in after the introduction. So my question, of course, the first question you've already told us, everyone. Some of you have, well, I think almost everyone has told about the skills. My question, the last question is, when do you want to start your solopreneurship journey? You can, again, as we said, raise your hand and let me know. When do you want to start your solopreneurship journey? Now, yes, Ali, now. You can actually put it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat. When do you want to start your solopreneurship journey? Munira is already there. She's been doing it for years now. But what are you thinking? When do you want to start? Next 3 months, soon, Angela, yes. Okay, soon. Yeah. Okay, now, but unclear. This is fine. This is absolutely fine, always. This is very, very normal. There's nothing wrong about it. And that's where I come in. Yasir, yes, you have already a company, but of course you want to scale, you want to do more. This is what I think. Great. So even if you don't have a clear idea, the first thing is that if you're ambitious enough, which you are, but by committing yourself to this an hour and a half session and showing up, that's the key. This is how we begin everything. And I always say the starting point is always the most difficult one. If you look at here as well, you start a car, it takes more fuel. You start running, the initial phase is pretty challenging. And if we have a roadmap, it becomes more easier. If we just go on a wild goose chase, then of course we will reach somewhere, but we don't know where are we going to go, right? It's a wild goose chase. So instead of going on a wild goose chase, if we have a structured plan in place, then of course we can achieve our goals much more quicker. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell my journey. Those who know me, like Munira as a dear friend, she knows me because she has been part of my programs before. So my journey is very simple. I am an economist by degree. I worked with British government for 17 years as head of trade and investment in Pakistan, and then 14 years later on with the US Chamber of Commerce. There is an economic think tank called Center for International Private Enterprise, which is an affiliate of US Chamber of Commerce. With them, I implemented economic development projects in 12 countries. That's my professional journey, and that by virtue of working in different countries, different environments, I learned a lot of culture, challenges and stuff like that. And how do you actually provide those solutions in those difficult countries? And I've worked in some of the most difficult countries, not in Africa. I was about to come to Africa, Tanzania, but somehow, that project didn't materialize. But I worked in difficult countries such as difficult as Papua New Guinea. So you can go and look at Papua New Guinea, how difficult that country is, and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, Cambodia. So Pakistan, of course, a very difficult country too. When you challenge yourself, you build your muscles, right? This is like a sports person. You don't start running on your first day. You slowly build it up, and you start. So first thing is, you want to really learn from here, mindset. Then you learn how to run, also mindset. Then you start putting in that energy and effort into it. Start running slowly, start building up your muscles, and then you run 100-meter, 500-meter sprint. That's what we call the journey. So my journey brought me to Canada in 1992, and finally, we took permanent residence in year 2000. But we came back because I had those jobs that I was doing, and I was really enjoying traveling and making a lot of money. I opted to stay out of Canada, but we came back in 2019. So 5 years ago, my Canadian experience started, like working here and building it up. And at that point in time, I was finishing my contract with US Chamber of Commerce, and I thought, okay, enough is enough. I've done enough of corporate life and travel and all that. I really want to put everything that I developed as my skills, knowledge, and experience put into my own, career, and created my own programs. At this point in time, of course, it was no magic, no overnight success. Every overnight success has a 10 years behind it. So in my case as well, now people know me. I'm the most followed LinkedIn coach in Canada. Whatever numbers I have seen, I think I'm almost 81,000 now, and I'm doing everything that is required to keep growing my business. So I'm diversifying. I'm adding more value. I'm adding more content all the time. I learned e-learning, and I started e-learning programs, and I provide consulting thing, and I do it alone. So I'm a solopreneur. I now have a little team, and that team is not my employee. They're not my employees. It's a design team. Whenever I need design work, anything creative, like website related thing, they handle it. I don't, because I don't have technical expertise in that area. So that's my journey. On the e-learning, I never knew that I would have this much of success. I've got over 6,000 students studying my online programs, and I've got hundreds of high-level corporate professionals, who have been through my programs, my solopreneurship and LinkedIn coaching programs. And I've got corporate clients who take consulting or who buy my time for consulting on personal branding and growing on LinkedIn. So this is my journey. Now, why I share this journey with you is that you all can start now, and some of you already have it. So this is my business model. CAREERGURU.co is my brand. This is where I operate everything from. Two main areas within that. One is coaching and consulting. When I say coaching, I've got online courses, ebooks, and cohorts. When I say consulting, I've got branding and business development and LinkedIn profile management. This is what I do. And this is a simple so I like to keep things simple, right? I am someone who hates complex things. I don't like numbers. I'm someone who cannot calculate properly. So I simplify everything. Simplification really helps us understand. Those who Tariq and Noman, you have just joined us. We have already started the program, but you can have the video later on, and I'll take your introductions later on. Tariq, I already know, he's a supply chain professional, and Noman I don't really know, so but we'll get to there. So I ran a poll, and very simple poll as to why do you want to become a solopreneur? And 13%, only 13% said side hustle. 36% said they want to convert it into a business, and 50% said they want to get freedom from corporate life. And honestly speaking, after having worked in corporate for so many years, I still feel, although my corporate life was amazing, I mean, I really thoroughly enjoyed, but later on, when I started my solopreneurship career, I only realized at that point in time that corporate life, no matter how enjoyable it is, it actually puts you into a shackle. You are into a straitjacket because you cannot really do much beyond your immediate responsibilities, right? You can take some initiatives, but sometimes those initiatives are not appreciated. So you limit yourself, and a lot of people limit themselves. I had a consulting call yesterday with a gentleman who's also joining the full program. He's an amazing water sector engineer based out of Abu Dhabi, and he had the same issue. And, he really wanted to do something, but his organization is not letting him do those things. And the way I present it, and Munira would agree to this, one of the biggest leadership trait is taking initiative. So if you don't let your people take initiative, you're actually curtailing their capability of becoming leaders. And most of the time, those who work in the corporate sector would agree with me that our jobs actually limit us, and this is what I felt when I started my own thing. Of course, there were challenges, and there will always be challenges. But the biggest challenge is when you're asked to leave a job, right? And that can happen overnight for anyone. I met yesterday someone in Mississauga. There was a chief financial officers group that invited me yesterday for a dinner, and there was a gentleman, CFO. Like, CFO is like a very important person in any organization. He was asked to leave, and he didn't know why he was asked to leave, and he was now looking for another job. For us solopreneurs, we at least don't have that challenge, right? We have other challenges, but nobody can sack us, right? Nobody can fire us. So that's the one thing that really inspired me. So 50% people also, I mean, they really want to get rid of corporate life. And let's move on. So I like to draw things because, when I draw things, my mind works better, right? I still pretty conventional. I keep a notepad with me. It's there right now as well, and I draw things. And this is one thing that I drew, and I use this as well in my training programs as well. So a lot of things that you're going to see here actually are being drawn from my bigger training these 3 weeks training programs. So this is a journey that I think we all go through, like a lot of us go through. So we have two axes, x and y axis, and we have time and efforts and to both two axes. If we have no idea, we are just wasting time. Like, we are just thinking, and when we are wasting time, which means a lot of efforts are being put in, no idea. Some of us have too many ideas. I can do this, there's like 20 different things. Again, we are wasting too much time in putting things together, putting efforts together, and still no results. Some of us come down to this point, which I say a couple of ideas. So, I can do these two things probably. And as you see that your time spent and the effort spent go down. As soon as you hit the last, which I call a narrow niche, as soon as you hit that, you are spending minimum time and minimum efforts to grow your business. It will grow like this because now you're focusing on your narrow niche. And that's the most challenging part for most of solopreneurs. Most of the professionals who come to me, who I either mentor or work with them in my training programs, or they take consulting from me. That is one of the biggest challenge for solopreneur. And even some of them saying that they understand the narrow niche. Working with them only, they realize that yeah, they're still probably at a couple of ideas stage, and they were thinking that they're as a narrow niche. Now, I was part of the same game as well. I was trying to do everything, and I was not achieving any results. As soon as I started my self-accountability process, things changed, and I was very quickly able to focus on a narrow niche. Now, what happens when you focus at your narrow niche, and if it is a real narrow niche, you start building your muscles up, which means you're running and you're eating properly, you're taking protein, exercise, and everything, which means you're improving yourself day by day in your narrow niche. The other businesses start reaching out to you, and it almost becomes an organic growth. And I'm a big fan of organic growth. This is what I focus at. This is what I believe we should, as solopreneurs, look at in the initial phase. And then gradually, when we build up our muscles and we become like more effective and we have decent enough traction, then go for performance marketing and start spending money on marketing. Not before that. Not before that. Okay, so here I would actually ask you question, 9 participants. Where do you think you are in this journey? You can put it in the chat, please. What stage? Banira, a couple of ideas stage. Yeah, I mean you're already doing quite well, so I can understand that. A couple of ideas, Angela as well. Great. Between too many and okay, Izar, fair enough. So no one says no idea. So I would suggest everyone to share in the journal chat for everyone, because it's a family. We all need to kind of understand each other. So no idea, great, absolutely fine. But I need to know also, Noman, what do you do? What are your skills? So maybe after this, Ali Malik, no idea. I don't believe you, Ali. I don't believe you. I think, but let's talk. I think when you're in the bigger program, 31st August, I think we'll be able to figure out more. Okay, so yeah, Yasser, narrow niche, B2B sustainability SaaS product, great. Tariq is exploring. Tariq is smartly exploring. I know that because he's into supply chain as well. Okay, so regardless of wherever you are in this journey, you can actually come to this narrow niche idea. That's absolutely doable. I did that, and I can help you do that as well. Okay, so let's go in a little bit of more detail as to understand what these 4 stages of your journey are. And this is going to help you No idea stage is your actions should be engage in self-assessment to understand your strength, passion, and skills. Very important. Conduct a little bit of market research. I won't say go too deeper, spend too much time in it, but you need to really start looking at potential opportunities, where are the gaps, and that will really help you. Network with other solopreneurs, because to be very frank, I mean, in my network, you know, some of the most successful, I mean, solopreneurs and turn entrepreneurs, such as Ashley, you know, now $500 billion net worth. People of that sort are there. So I learn from them. A little word from them, one single word actually adds a lot of value. And at this point, our goal is to gather information and generate initial business idea. Before I jump onto the other one, we need to document everything. If we don't document, if we keep everything in our head, we will forget. I mean, to be very frank, there's so much of information explosion out there, we will forget. So please document what you learn. I mean, I get so many ideas because, you know, I'm doing so many things, but some content idea and stuff, and I forget. So I try to kind of note it down. If I don't note it down, believe me, after 1 hour, I don't remember. I even if I try to remember, I won't recall. So too many ideas stage is, let's start creating a list of ideas, like, you know, maybe 5, 10, 20 ideas. Look at some of the market demand, you know, am I really interested in it, in this idea, or am I not interested? Is it doable? Is it not doable? Maybe speak to a mentor and try to run those ideas by. Again, goal is to refine the process. Then you come to a couple of idea stage. Then now you have probably, after these two stages, you have 2 ideas. You have got some traction as well. That's where you actually create your minimum viable service, or MVS that I call it, and start testing your audience. Yeah. So, and that's where you actually kind of, I would say, you know, come out of your assumption zone to a more practically implementation zone. And then, of course, your narrow niche is really your end goal. That's the end goal where you establish yourself and establish your brand within and scale your business by kind of start rolling it out, your product or service. So these are the 4 stages. So, you know, if you, whatever stage you are in, that's absolutely fine. This is a journey. And maybe if you, though, I mean, of course, you know, some of you maybe are MBAs, such as Ali. Generally speaking, these things are better if you learn from people who have experience. Like, I learned it and I presented it to you. Maybe this information is not available elsewhere. Like, I don't know, but this is what I created. Yeah, so I take the ownership. So let's talk about ICP. ICP concept. Anybody knows the concept of ICP? Ideal customer profile. Ideal customer profile. So when you reach to a point where maybe Yasser is, because he already has a product, SaaS product, that's the point where, in fact, before that also, but more when you're closer to your narrow niche, you start looking at ICP. Who's going to buy this from me? You know, where are these people who are going to buy? You know, do they have money and stuff? Now, if you look at you know, the literature, there is tons of literature available on ICP. If you Google, you'll find zillions of infographics, toolkits and stuff. You know, this is how you build your ICP persona and this and that. I mean, if we want to make it too complicated, like, okay, yes, go and look at that. As I said, I really like to simplify things, and this is what I adopted for myself. This is what I think we all should do. This is what I teach in my programs. So the best way to go forward, in my opinion, or in my view, is it's important to understand your ICP. But if somebody is really enthusiastic, you can actually, instead of focusing too much on your ICP, you create or you present yourself in a way that your potential client starts following you, starts looking at you, starts engaging with you, starts learning from you, and then sign up for your program, become your client. Now, somebody comes to you almost 50% sold out. There's a need. That's why you're there. I mean, and frankly speaking, 9 people joining in out of 29 people who signed up. So 20 people did not. Maybe they signed up, but they were not really interested. So they did not join in today's program. 9 people have joined in, and they're staying with me. They're listening to me. Even from this, if I'm boring you, if you're not getting value, somebody will leave. That's okay. And this is the process for every solopreneur. There will be a bigger group of people who would follow, join in. Some of them will listen to you, and few of them will sign up. It's just a matter of when they will sign up for your program, for your consultancy. Now, if they reach out to you, these 9 people sitting in the room, I probably built trust and, created an opportunity for you to learn from me, and you've been following me on LinkedIn and stuff. I didn't have to look for an ICP. So this is what I wanted to say. I did not know somebody's joining right now. So I did not know your persona. I only knew like Ali, of course, he's part of my program. So I knew about him. I know Tariq because he's been following me. I know Izhar also because Izhar sometimes comes in and comments on my post. Of course, Munira, as a friend, we've been communicating for almost over a year now, and she's been part of my program. So I knew few, but most of them I did not know. So I did not focus on ICP. I only focused on what value I can give, what value I can provide. And based on that value, you all joined in. So Khalid Saab, thank you for joining in. We are already in the session. You all will be able to get the video access to this, and so obviously I won't be able to go back, but we will take your introduction and Noman's and Tariq's introduction as soon as I'm done with the presentation. So what I'm trying to say is here, just to conclude this particular topic, don't spend too much time on creating your ICP. If you can do it quickly, that's fine. If you can't do it quickly and you're confused, maybe focus more on your own selves and building your brand and giving value. And then people will start reaching out to you, and they will start talking to you, and some of them will become your client. This is the process. So start looking at the inbound rather than outbound. I mean, if there's something that you want to share, discuss, ask, please raise your hand. And, I'll, ICP, so sorry, I did not see that message before. ICP is ideal customer profile. Okay, so I've spoken enough on ideal customer profile. The conclusion is that instead of just looking at that side of the coin, let's start looking at our own selves and build your brand. Once you build your brand, people start following you. Okay, so very simply, people buy from people they trust. Even this is a free bootcamp. I'm just sharing this information. I didn't charge you anything. You only came because you trusted me. Believe me. I mean, there's so many other people who are doing the same thing, right? People don't join in. So you build trust by influencing and engagement. So you influence through your content, through the value that you give, and you engage. So on my post, usually I would respond to every comment. And that's the engagement piece. This is how I have built my trust and credibility over the past 5 years. So engagement and influencing. Remember these 2 words. And of course, there's something you'll keep seeing. People buy from people they trust. And let's move another step on the trust part. So conversations build trust, and trust brings business. So this is also something that you need to follow. So start talking to people, which is influencing and engagement. Now, we looked at the first piece where we had these 4 stages. I've kind of narrowed it down a little bit more for those who are still not really sure. See, this is what kind of model that one has to look at, and this is something that we learn in depth when those who are joining in my program, they really learn that in depth as to how do we do that, how do we achieve that goal. So we have a journal like domain expertise. I'm a leadership coach. I'm something else. I'm in sustainability. I'm doing this, or I'm in supply chain. So that's like a domain expertise, a wide domain expertise. We know a lot of things, and the analogy that I give is like a doctor, a GP, right? A GP is a doctor. He understands. He's got like a domain expertise. But then, in this case, a personal branding person who has the domain expertise, some of them have got more expertise that are more focused on becoming brand strategist. And then some of them will become what I call image consultant. Image consultant is the aim, right? That's the aim. That's the narrow niche. And of course, this is a boot camp, so if you really want to focus on that, let's start working on it. In the full program, of course, there's a complete exercise and some of the things that we do to reach to this point. Every participant in that program actually finds that sweet spot. Now, once you have to reach to that point, there's something very important. How do we start attracting and engaging with people? How do we start influencing? And that's where a lot of us struggle. And so I created something I call a 3C strategy. It's create, comment, connect. 30 minutes every day, create content. 10 minutes every day, comment on relevant people, like influencers and people in that own field. And 5 minutes start spending on connecting with the right people, the relevant communities. And that's how you're going to build your momentum. That's how you're going to build your audience. And that momentum will lead to inbound automatically. Some of my students literally got results in a week, 10 days, that people start connecting. I mean, my previous batch that finished only yesterday, there was a gentleman who got his first call booked from Turkey, and he was sitting somewhere else, so he couldn't really understand. He got a message in Turkish, and he reached out to this. He's an engineer, by the way, so he's kind of helping engineers. And he wrote back and saying, I can't understand Turkish. If you understand English, then we can communicate. And that engineer, female, said, yeah. So he actually booked his first call within the first week or so. Just by following 3C strategy, which we learn in depth. So create, comment, connect. Content is everything. The biggest or the most effective way of bringing inbound is content. So I don't spend any money in promoting my products, services, coaching programs. I only write content, and that content brings me audience. And every month when I do my sessions, my paid training sessions, I only take about 5 clients or 5 participants in a session, because I create a community and I engage with them and I help them throughout that process of 3 weeks. If I create a bigger group, I won't be able to do it. So 5, maximum 6, no more than that. If 7th person comes in, I say to come sign up for the next program. And I've been consistently booking just by creating value for people and just by helping them understand the nitty-gritties. They come and join in. So these are the main pillars of any solopreneurship business. The purpose and the business strategy. Product or services, how practical and how effective. How practical and how effective. Customer identification, customers need solution providers. So are you providing that solution? And the delivery, how are you going to deliver that product or service to your customer? If it is too complex, then it will be too difficult to attract your customer. It should not be difficult. So the process has to be simple or simplified to deliver your product or service. This is exactly how the process will work. If you could understand these 4 pillars, it will become much more easier for us to create momentum towards building our own solopreneurship journey very, very quickly. So look at your unfair advantage. A lot of us don't. We only look at competitors from a very different perspective. Now, if we are spending too much time on looking at competitors, then, is it going to work? Number one. Instead of looking at competitors as competitors, start looking at your unfair advantage over competitors. And it's not easy. It takes time. And as always I say, my overall ambition in my program is to bring everything together. Like, literally in 3 weeks, we have to have a roadmap. In 3 weeks, we have to have that plan, which will take us from point 1 to point whatever. Like, the journey has to start straight away. And usually what I've seen, the journey starts within the 2 weeks. And 3rd week is when it just builds up the momentum. So your unfair advantage on others is what helps you create momentum towards your competitiveness, not by looking at your competitors, by the way. So, we can waste a lot of time and become jealous with our competitors. To be very frank, I mean, I tell you my own thing. This is what I do. This is my experience. So no such theory involved as such. Of course, there is theory. Of course, that theory has to be backed by a practical experience. So if I start looking at someone like Jasmine Alec, a huge influencer on LinkedIn. Jasmine posts something, and within the next few hours, he has got 1,500 comments on his post. Now, technically speaking, he is my competitor. And I get 10, 12, 20, 40 comments. I mean, the maximum I get sometime 100 comments. Now, if I start looking at him and why is he getting 1,500 comments and blah, 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 I'm actually burning my brain cells unnecessarily. I should be focusing on those 10, 15 comments that people are coming and they're being kind enough, they're reading my content, they're giving me value, and nurturing them rather than looking at my competitor and becoming jealous, right? So that's why I said my unfair advantage is very interesting. Like a lot of my sessions, a lot of my podcasts that I do is in Urdu. So those who understand Urdu also understand Hindi, right? Those who understand Hindi, they also understand Urdu. So I'm looking at a 500 billion community across the globe rather than only focusing on English. Now today, why I'm doing the session in English, because we had someone who Angela, doesn't really understand Urdu. Maybe, right? This is what I thought, Angela, looking at your name. So find that unfair advantage that you have over someone else. People talk about SWOT analysis and stuff. Okay, do this if you want to, but let's simplify things. And the simplest possible way is to find that unfair advantage over somebody else. And that will be much quicker. Based on all that, you have to create your minimum viable service. Now, what is minimum viable service? Something that you can create quickly so that you could test. Very simple. And those who are in the program, Ali, you are in the program already. So you're going to create your minimum viable service. And that's where a lot of people struggle. And that's where we actually innovate and create and articulate. in creating this minimum viable services based on those 4 principles, 4 pillars that we had, and of course, slowing down the niche and everything. Here, the productization plays a big role. So once you have the product available, what product, service, exactly the nomenclature, the feel factor, how you like it, you can feel it, your client can feel it and can get some interesting instant gratification from the product and stuff. The next stage is, price. I always say, okay, you can be cheap, but you can still not sell, and you can be very pricey and still sell. So it's about value. How much value are you delivering with the product? What that person, the person who is looking at your product or service, is going to gain out of it, right? So that's what we need to figure out. And of course, ease of access. As I said earlier, if you can't deliver it effectively, those efforts are going to go waste. So let's look at productization part of your MVS and build it up effectively so that you keep delivering your high value product to your clients and keep making money. Social proof is really important. I tell you, honestly speaking, one thing that I regret that I didn't do well at all was YouTube. I created my YouTube channel in 1998, and I never focused on YouTube. I never grew YouTube, and honestly speaking, I missed the boat. People who started like 10 years after me have got 1 million followers or 1 million subscribers onto YouTube channel, and they're literally making money. I just did not, because I was so busy in doing my corporate thing and I was enjoying and making money. I did not focus on my future. I was not looking at the future. I was only looking at my instant gratification, right? On that day, on that week, on that month, am I getting paid? I was earning. I was making a lot of money. I was getting paid in US dollars, but I was not investing in growing myself and growing my social proof, unfortunately, at that point in time. But what I was lucky enough when I started on LinkedIn, like practically started on LinkedIn, monetizing it. At that point, LinkedIn was quite, I would say, quite empty. Still is quite empty. So I grew on LinkedIn. But for the past 2 months, I've again started focusing on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and a little bit on Twitter as well, or X. Why is it important? People who see me on TikTok, they connect me on YouTube, or at least go and watch my videos on YouTube. And some of them come and, pay for my services. Because now they see, now they see that someone who has got so many following and he writes and he creates value, they pay. The other very important point is that a lot of people, like literally, at least 70-80% of my clients who come and join my programs had never commented on my posts. Never. They never engaged on my posts. And they signed up because they were only consuming content. And that's what I learned. But in social era, when you are on social media, to whatever extent, you are actually a creator. And creator economy itself globally is almost $600 billion from B, right? So be part of that creator economy at whatever level. Those who are not will lose out eventually. So social proof is really important. So build that social proof. In my program, of course, there is a complete chapter on how we build social proof. We can 3x our solopreneurship journey by simply stop following these three things. These are three traps. I have the best business idea. That's a big trap. There's nothing unique these days, right? You just, if you have an idea, just go and look at it. Somebody might have a better idea than that, right? So there is no best idea. You can make it unique. You can make it best by following whatever I just told you, right? That instant gratification part, that, working with a narrow niche, instead of focusing only on ICP, building your own brand so that people start looking at you. You have I always say, right, it's not LinkedIn or Twitter or any other social media platform that have got the magic. Magic is in you. You are the magic. Copying somebody else's idea. So I made a typo here as well. But it's still, like, people read this post. I wrote this morning. So even if you copy somebody's idea, remember, only you are you. Copying is fake. You can't copy. Nobody can copy you. If you think somebody's copying you, you're not smart enough. That person is smart, because that person is actually adding the magic in it. I don't need to pay anyone. That's the biggest false belief we have. I was there as well. I thought I would be able to do everything myself. Then I ended up joining the mentorship licensing program, which was over $5,000. Then I ended up having a team, my creative team that I have. They're not my employees. They are my business partners, and they get 30% of the net revenue that I earn. Okay, so we have to value other people's knowledge, skills, and experience. There's nothing free in this world. So there's always something that you need to pay to achieve it quickly. We can be part of our journey, and we can struggle, and we can do a lot of mistakes, and eventually we'll do something. Either we'll fail or be successful. That's okay. But if we could reduce that period of time, that's the real win, right? Because if we are not wasting our time into struggling or in our confusion, we'll be able to put a lot of efforts into improving what we do, or what we do well. Social media marketing is a lie. This is what a lot of people think, and I see it all the time. In 2024, approximately $300 billion will be spent on social media marketing. So these people who are spending $300 billion, do you think they're silly? They're insane? They're not. So bottom line is, get out of your shell. I mean, anyone who is in a shell, just get out of it. So it's a business. So you need to learn. Learn it the hard way or learn it the easy way. It's your choice, right? Again, I'm something that I learned again the hard way. When you want to engage people, when you want to share what you can do, share it shamelessly. There should not be any shame in it. So my next program, starting on 31st, I only have 2 spots available. 3 spots are gone already. Anybody interested in joining in, you can reach out to me. I'll offer the same discount that I offered the other 3, because the program fees is now different. Exclusive community, continued learning, collaboration, and networking. Ali will vouch that the community is already learning because he's part of it, part of the community. So this is what I had to share in this bootcamp. Let's ask question, and you can turn on your mic, raise your hand, turn on the mic, and ask question. I'll be happy to respond to you. And if you want to share some thoughts, please do so. Yes. But I think we had 3 people who joined in later on: Tariq, Ibrahim Khalid, and Tala Zahid. So if you could quickly introduce yourself here, please, for everyone. I'll start with Tariq Saman. Yes, Tariq. Can you unmute yourself, Tariq, and tell us who you
Yes, sir.
are? Sure, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, sir, and thank you very much, sir, for such an wonderful opportunity for us to learn from you. So, I'm the Tariq. I'm a supply chain professional, and particularly my expertise in warehousing and the logistics. I have been following Sir Hamad from last 1 year. I am using LinkedIn for more than 10 years, but it was like I was just scrolling it and there is nothing for me. So when I started following Sir, I 100% following Sir techniques. Today I use Sir techniques. Sir sent me an email. There is a trick to download a video from the TikTok, and there are 3-4 lines to repost it, and it's really helped me out. So thank you very much, sir, for having you.
Thank you very much, Tariq. And Tariq is now connected with some top level supply chain professionals as well. Let's go to Ibrahim Khalid. Sayyid Ibrahim Khalid, can you please introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Ibrahim. I have just recently come to know about you and your social media activities. जो मैं पिछले around 3 or 4 months ago or 6 months ago, I guess I started being active on LinkedIn again. And part of that was in my efforts to enhance my online visibility. My basic background is from the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, but I like around just 6 months or 8 months starting an accounting job. I just got bored of it and I shifted to sales and marketing. So for now, I am a student of public administration in my just final semester, and I've chosen marketing as my specialization. I've been doing content writing for a long time, and but most of that work was usually limited to personal network, and I've never really succeeded in getting very much out of online marketing and online business places. So during this effort, which has just started like a few months ago, as I told you, तो I've come across you, और अगर आप मुझसे सही तरीके से पूछें तो I've just gone through a few of your posts, and whenever I've commented, I've always got a response. I find your content to be very engaging, and आपका जो आज का call है वो भी I appreciate that very much and would like to thank you a lot. There is a lot of things to learn from you, from your content, and I really look forward to interacting and engaging with you more. And I intend to go through your previous posts as well. I'm quite sure कि उसके अंदर से भी बहुत सारा treasure trove of information मिले. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ibrahim. And then we go to Tala Khalid. Tala, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello.
Ji.
My name is Talha Zahid. So I am living in UAE. So recently I came to know about you from Wali Khan YouTube channel.
All right. Okay.
I think you got live with him about solopreneurship. And first time I know about the solopreneurship, and मैंने आपकी सारी YouTube चैनल में देखा, आपने अपने बारे में बताया कि कहाँ से आप शुरू हुए और कैसे आपके माइंड में आइडिया आया. So recently I also follow you in LinkedIn, and I was not active in LinkedIn, but I followed you and I see that your content is very engaging. So I just read about your this meeting. So आपने मतलब मीटिंग में बोला था कि अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करने का मौका मिलेगा. So I don't have any speaking skills, so मैंने कभी खुद को इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया. So basically I am running my software.
Tala, one moment. You have already introduced yourself, okay, and you did it nicely.
Okay.
So come out of your self-limiting belief, man. You've already done it nicely, right? I would actually show my reaction by I don't know how to do it anyway. So I'll just show something to share to share my heart or something. Something can be done on here. I don't know. But yeah, here you go. Okay,
No,
you did
actually,
you did it nicely.
I still feel like I didn't tell myself like you. Everyone telling about their skills or their what they are doing in life. I just telling about how I come to know about you.
That's
So
fine. You're a
yeah,
software person, right? This is what you said, right?
yeah. Actually, I'm running my company in Pakistan, but I moved here with my family for the better opportunity. As you know, there's many issues with the payment gateways in Pakistan.
Mm.
So I have many clients from Europe, USA, and UK. They pay me on with my work, like we done project and they need to pay me. So काफी इश्यूज थे पाकिस्तान में और साथ में ग्राउथ का बहुत इशू आ रहा था मतलब कि मेरे अराउंड मैं गुजरांवाला से हूँ पर मेरे अराउंड जो लोग हैं मुझे उनसे मतलब जैसे होते हैं इंस्पायरेशन मिले मैं अपने काम को बढ़ाना चाहता हूँ मुझे कोई ऐसा बंदा मिले जो मेरे से ज्यादा काम करता हो वो नहीं था तो जो थे वो इस्लामाबाद में थे या लाहौर थे तो फिर मैं दुबई आता रहता था घूमने फिरने तो फिर मैंने सोचा इधर है काफी टेक लोग तो मैं इधर ही मूव हो गया इधर अब मीटिंग होती है लोगों से और
Good.
काफी कुछ सीखने को मिलता है पर फिर भी जैसे कि हर वक्त तो नहीं मिल सकते मैं रूम में ही मोस्टली ऑफिस बनाया हुआ है तो उधर ही हर टीम को मैनेज करता हूँ क्लाइंट्स को मैनेज करता हूँ बस नेटवर्किंग में इशू आ रहा था ग्रोथ में आ रहा था तो मैंने आपको फॉलो किया तो काफी कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है पर फिर भी जैसे आपने पहचान लिया कि मैं खुद को लिमिट रख रहा हूँ कुछ सेल्फ डाउट था कुछ आ गया तो उसको बस मैं खत्म करना चाह रहा हूँ क्योंकि 4 साल में इतनी बड़ी मैंने टीम बनाई है वो सब कुछ खरा किया मैंने ही किया किसने मुझे बोला कि तुम डाउट क्यों करते हो जो तुमने किया वो तुमने ही किया अभी भी तुम खुद पे डाउट क्यों कर रहे हो मगर मुझे समझ
Good.
नहीं आ रही कि लाइफ की किस फेस में मैं आ गया हूँ
Okay. All right. So, no, thank you very much. So Angela left
थैंक
because
यू
I thought
थैंक
she thought that now the conversation is going to be in Urdu. So, that's the one very important thing, Tala. When you for everyone, when you are in a community, when there are other people who are do not speak the same language, try to
ओके
stay in English, right? So, but no problem. So my again, see, this is inspirational. I mean, even few people join in, but I'm sure you learned something in today's session, and I'm going to pick your brains on one or two things that you learned today, something that were not really in your optics or in your focus. And this is just a boot camp, 1 hour boot camp. My whole program is more than 6 hours learning, like live learning, and then anyone joining in the program gets the task to complete during the week. And the idea is that at the end of the third week, you have your own very, very strategic roadmap. And if you don't have it, I'll return your money. I mean, nobody can guarantee that. I mean, I do because I have been there, done that, and I have literally so many participants have gone through the program have done it too as well. So the next program starts on 31st of August. If anybody is interested in joining in, please let me know. I have 2 spots available. I can maximum take 3 because I keep it small because I work with individuals. I work with everyone. I look at their work. I advise them, suggest them, and later on also they stay part of the program, which means as soon as Ali enrolled in the program, he became part of my community, which is like a little WhatsApp group in which we share things. We don't overwhelm things. I try to keep it very, very tight. So Yasser, the fee will be $550. Now my team is working on it, but I enrolled this whole batch at this point in time at $425. So I will enroll anyone coming from this group today at $429, $425. And anyone after that, this batch will be $550. And it's very simple. Just let me know if you want to join in. I'll send you the link to pay. If you are in Pakistan, you want to pay in PKR, that's also doable. I have a bank account there. You can simply deposit there. As soon as and enrollment is done, you will become part of the community, the WhatsApp community, 1 week before the session. So the session starts on 31st, which means on Monday, the 26th, you all will become part of a Google document, a shared Google document in which there will be tasks to complete. These first bit of task is 3 questions that you have to respond to, and these 3 questions will actually put the foundation for your journey into this whole realm. And so the response to these questions should be done or written before 29th or up to 29th of August, so that I review it, and then we start the session on 31st. The timing is 10 a.m. Canada Eastern Time. I think it's about 7 p.m. in UAE, and it's 7 p.m. in Pakistan, and I think 6 p.m. in UAE, something like that, 5 or 6 p.m. in UAE. So I would say anyone who is interested in joining, and UK is, I think you're 5 hours behind. So approximately 2 hours, approximately. My yesterday's last session went on for 3.5 hours. So I don't restrict myself to hours. My minimum commitment is 1.5 hours per session, but usually it's 2 hours, easily 2 hours, because the questions, and once somebody's in my session, like now as well, people get glued to the session because I'm adding so much value to everyone that people don't want to leave. Another thing is that in the session, everyone who is part of that cohort will get all the video recordings of that cohort. So previous cohort got the recording of their cohort, so they could go and review the recording whenever they want to. So every cohort gets access to their own video recording, so that they have everything available to them. All that is free of cost. No additional cost have to be paid. And you remain in my community, and you work together. Collaborations are also built. In the previous one, also 2 or 3 collaborations have been built. And so they will be, because there are synergies, they will be working together, and they're kind of coming up with some collaborative initiatives. All that is an amazing opportunity for all of us to grow, because I learn a lot from you. And so learning is always, I say, it's always reciprocal. All right, so Yasir Saab, I think I've responded to your question, and anybody who wants to join in, just let me know. I'll send details for payment, and you can sign up. Any questions at this point, please? And now, because there's nobody who speaks English only, so you can talk to me in Urdu if you want to. जी, and मैं अब यहाँ पे इसकी recording भी stop कर रहा हूँ. Where do I stop recording?